We're going to hop right into our first topic. This was sent to us by a person in the community. It's a very controversial topic, but we said that we was not going to back down from anything that was sent to us. We always give a disclaimer. This is not something we dove into. This is something that was put on our plate and asked for our opinions on things and for us to discuss amongst us. And we want you to know we're going to hear you. We hear you when you send us topics, unless it's something just out in left field. We're going to talk about it, brothers. I think that's what we need to do. We had one person, and we're going to be very honest and upfront when we talk about these things. This person did not look like us, brothers. And that was a shock to me. This person was a white person. They wanted us to discuss the issue of white privilege in this area, in America. And, at first I was very honest. I was like, I don't know if I want to jump into that boat right there, brothers. But at the same time, we can't be double-sided with a tongue. We started out with this podcast. We said we're going to discuss things that, that are meaningful for the community. And when the community sends stuff into us, if we start passing them to the side, then we're not true to our word. Now, when we have these discussions, please understand that, we're asked an opinion. Okay? Just like everyone else is, we have an opinion on the matter. That don't mean we bad people. That don't mean we hate anybody. We're just going to tell you our experiences on the topic. So we want to start. We want to talk about what are your thoughts on this topic here? The thoughts on white privilege. Does it exist? Do you think it exists, brother?
100% it exists, and the problem that we'll run into with a topic like this is everybody's going to see it from their spectrum.
Yes.
And until you walk the mile in a man's shoes, you're really not going to understand. When you've been part of a system your whole life, it's hard to look from the outside in, but it's definitely prevalent. But now what we do about it, that's a totally different topic.
Mm-hmm. All right, Mr. Rowe.
So the question was, she wanted to know our thoughts on white privilege. And then her second question was, how can we, as in people not of color, let me say, could do better in that area? So working okay. I think we all, as in people not of color, could do better in that area. I know this is an extremely hard area to get through to people about white privilege, but it's such a real thing. So one of the things that she brought to me is, she said, I never worry about if I have to break the law, if I break the law, if anything's gonna happen to me. We talked to her earlier before we started recording, and she just wanted to know how we thought about it, and what could people who are not people of color, what could they do if they're generally concerned and they want to help out or reverse the whole benefit, or at least apply the benefit of white privilege to black people. How can we improve in that area?
Okay.
And my initial thought was use your white privilege for us. And for example, Dr. Mann can go places and he has a seat at the table that I don't necessarily have a seat at that same table. But if I go to Dr. Mann and I say, hey, I need this, or this is what I'm trying to accomplish, because my friend and my brother has access, is that my foot in the door? So in line with that, can you use your white privilege and be somewhat of an undercover agent? Can you? I believe you can. Would that benefit us as the black race? I believe it has. So that's what my thought is. I don't think it's that deep. I just use your privilege to, what is that? When you look down, be pulling somebody up. That's personally, that's what I see, that people who recognize there's a problem with white privilege could help the situation in our race.
Gotcha. The only thing I want to add too is I don't know if it was a misquote or something, but I think when we all break the law, we're all going to suffer some penalty to a certain degree. And I think, and maybe that was a misquote in what was read, but when she said when she gets pulled up, when she breaks the law, she don't have to worry about or whatever she said during that quote. But I think I want to just kind of clarify that. I think we all have to worry about when we get pulled over or we commit a crime, we all have to pay the price, whether we're, you know, and it may not seem like it's equal in all situations, but we're going to get justice served some way, somehow. Now, some people might escape it, but I don't think it's, you know, we're not going to sit there and say all a certain type of race get away with everything. It may seem like that, but that's not the case. So there's plenty of people that don't look like us that are sitting in prison right now. However, there are a lot of people that look like us that are sitting in prison right now, and we're a smaller percentage. But go ahead, Mr. Rupp.
Let me clarify, because I don't think she was saying all people. I think when I asked her to give me examples,
Okay.
she said that there are things that she doesn't worry about that we wouldn't have to worry about, whether it be, you know, if she gets in trouble with the law, you know, medical treatment. She recognizes all those differences between her as a white woman versus us as black men and black women and all people of color. Yeah. She's saying that she recognizes the differences. So the things that we may be top on our priority list, she's saying she never has to worry about those things.
Absolutely.
Getting loans or anything. She understands that the color of her skin, she gets fringe benefits from being a white woman in this country. So, like I said, this is only her experience. Yeah. You know what I mean? So I'm not going to say that she said all
yeah, okay, I got you. I just want to make sure we clarify that for the people that are listening. So I don't want that to seem like we were saying that, you know, just because you're a white person, you don't get justice served, because that's not what we're saying here. But we're trying to make sure that people understand that, you know, is there a privilege? And I think that has been proven in the past and in the present now, there is a privilege.
I think she's on the right step. And if you was asking me, Casey, what could they do? Or what could people of non-color do? First, acknowledge the existence. I mean, so many people are in denial of the white privilege. And, you know, the first thing would be to acknowledge it. To acknowledge this country's look on African Americans since the very beginning. Acknowledge the fact that this country got 400 years of free labor. Acknowledge the fact that there are still sundown towns in these United States of America in 2023. Acknowledge the fact, like the Emmett Till anti-lynching bill has still not been passed. You know, acknowledge facts like this. You know, many people will start out like, if you want to get people riled up, start talking about the reparations. I never owned slaves. I shouldn't have to be responsible for paying it back. True, but every nationality of people has got reparations. The Spanish people got reparations when we stole Mexico and California and Texas. The Chinese people got reparations for working on the railroad. The Indians got reparations for the land being stolen. Everybody gets reparations, you know, but the black man or the black race. When it comes to us, there's a problem. So, okay, you make a couple of laws where a few extra of us get into college, or you make a couple of laws where we get a tax write-off for this or that. That's just a drop in the bucket. So to me, the first thing, if you want to talk about white privilege, is be addressing that, hey, man, it exists.
Right, so she's done that. Now what's the next step? Pertaining to this first, you know, topic request from the public, this woman, who is a white woman who is genuinely concerned, she's already acknowledged it. It exists. I recognize it. What does she do if she wants an assignment to help out people of color? What would you tell her? How could she assist right now, immediately? How could she assist?
Well, I mean, to me, she's already existed because she shows a general concern.
Yeah, I got it, yeah.
That's the biggest, the lack of apathy over the situation. To me, that's the biggest problem. You know, you have people who think it's not a problem. You have people who think that it doesn't exist. And until there's a legitimate concern over the issue, this all that we're going to do about it is talk about it. Yeah.
You know, we talked about, I'll mention something right here before we move on. You talked about the reparations for every other race, every other nationality. You know, something else I want to throw in right there. You know, we got a anti-Asian hate bill passed very quick.
Amen.
And you know, how long have African Americans been dealing with hate?
Oh man.
And you know, and that just, you have to stop and think about things like that. And you know, people bring things up and they talk, and you thinking, man, they're going over the top with this situation here, man. Chill out. But when you think about it, man, you know, the current sitting president passed a bill that was anti-Asian hate.
Yeah.
Somebody correct me if I'm wrong. Anti-Asian hate. And I'm thinking to myself, how long have African Americans been dealing with hate? And where's the bill? I mean, you see what I'm saying? You have to stop and think about things like that, man. If you don't think about things like that, man, it just fly right over your head. And you know, we're here in America. We're living, we're breathing, we're working, we're dealing. We have dealt, we're dealing, and we will continue to deal with things. So I'm thinking to myself, where's the anti-African American hate bill that deals with, you know?
Yeah. It's sitting on their desk, not passed.
Or the anti-lynching bill. I mean, how hard is that? How hard is that? I mean, you know, that's things we have to think about here. You know, and again, fellas, nobody wants to talk about these things, and it won't get better until we discuss these things, fellas. I mean, and you know, I'm sure we're gonna get some odd looks when after this episode. But fellas, there comes a time where we have to have these conversations and put them out there, because if not, the status quo will continue. Am I lying?
No. So then, on the grassroots level, we have a white woman who's asking, what can I do right now? I agree with you, with you brothers, on all of it.
Yeah.
But when I think this ends up being a problem, because this is the second time I've been asked by a white woman, how can we help? Right? So, what is something if a white man came in right now and said, hey, I understand what y'all got going on. How can I help you? How can myself and this white skin and my heart for humanity assist y'all in y'all struggles right now? What would you tell him or her?
I mean, and you probably don't like the answer, but again, I'll tell her, you caring, you've already done something. I mean, if we had the answer to that, man, we could write a book. I mean, there is no easy answer. There is no one person answer. The problem with this is it's an individual thing. You know, each individual has to take responsibility for their actions. You know, if each one person said, hey, you know, I'm decided for myself to not see color, to be this type of person or be that type of person, you know, until then, we're just talking about it. We're just bouncing ideas off the wall. There's nothing particular I can tell her that she can do other than what she's already done, is show some concern. Each person has a responsibility, man. You know, and I think that, like you said, she's taken a great start to acknowledging the fact that, you know, she's experienced it. She's been on the positive side of it. And, you know, it made her feel some type of way to even send this question in. So I think that, or this request in. So I think that, you know, she's got to start. But like Pastor said, Casey said, we're responsible individually. And, you know, it's awful hard for someone who feels that way to step up and do something in a group setting, because not everybody's going to think like that. You see what I'm saying? And, you know, you're risking professional, you're risking your business, you're risking your reputation, you're risking your character. When you step up and step on the other side of trying to benefit, you know, that situation. So, you know, we've got to be careful unless somebody's saying, you know, the heck with it, man. This is just flat out wrong. I'm willing to risk it all. Mm-hmm. That's what we're going to deal with. People have got to be very cautious when they're stepping out on faith to help in this situation, whether, you know, whatever the cause may be. You got to sit down and count up the cost. Right. And let me say this real quick, Ro, before you jump back in. You know, this podcast, when people hear it, you know, there's some that's going to be immediately turned off.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's going to be some that get mad immediately. And then there's going to be some that be like, you know what, they may have a point. It's those are the ones that we can reach. Mm-hmm. You know, and I would simply say to them, don't be silent. You know, if you see a problem, you see an issue, speak to it. There's been too much sweeping it under the rug for centuries. This ain't a new thing. You know, it's just the newest thing.
I'm gonna wrap this subject up with saying this. I personally believe, I agree with my brothers, but if you were here in front of us and you refused to leave until you had an assignment, this is what I would say. Find those like-minded individuals in your community who recognize, who acknowledge the issue, who acknowledge there's a problem, and they also want to help. get with them, and then you let us know. I mean, there was something, and I'm sure you've read about it, you've heard about it. It was the Green Book.
Yes.
We didn't come up with this on our own. We knew where to go on our journey, whether it be white, black, or otherwise. We knew where it was safe. So I would say create the New Age Green Book, and it doesn't have to be written down, but just know if we need medical, if we need tutoring, if we need whatever, a loan or whatever it may be, you let us know where the safe place is. You create the Green Book, and let us know that if I go speak to Sonia at such and such, then she'll be able to provide. And this is only if you, because she was so adamant about, tell me now what I can do. You know what I mean? So I would say you build the coalition of those like-minded individuals that look like you. And I would say that would be the best thing that you can do for us right now. And you and I can be in conversation. You've got Dr. Mann, you got Pastor Casey. And we can get this thing going.
Yes.
So all your efforts they're appreciated. But you and I, all four of us, we will discuss this further. And I'm sure I want to preface it with this. You're gonna have some comments that aren't so nice, and I'm sure that you're aware of it, because she was like, I don't care who says what. Yeah. And she said she didn't mind if I used her name. But you and I both know.
We don't want to do that. They won't do that. Yeah.
We value you. We value where your heart is and where your mind is, and we really appreciate it. And we will touch on this, until, because I'm sure I'm going to hear from you. We will continue to touch on this. But I would say find those like-minded individuals. And I
would like to go. I'm sorry, Ro. Go ahead.
No, man, I'm good. I'm good. Go ahead.
I'd like to revisit this at a later date, brothers, and talk about the difference between, and I got it wrote down here on my notes, how people are apprehended based on what they look like after they commit a crime.
Come on.
I would like to revisit that. That's another topic. That's another topic.
But before we change gears, Dr. Mann, and I would be amiss if I didn't mention this when we talk about the struggles of black folk. Until we decide to come together and help lift up ourselves.
Yes.
No, I don't look for help from any other place.
No.
A lot of this lays at our feet.
Yeah.
J. Edgar Hoover said the most dangerous thing to these United States of America is the United Negro. Yeah. And there's never been more truth spoken than that right there.
Absolutely. Mr. Roy, you want to give a final parting shot here, man? Something, give us about 30 seconds. Keep it in the lane.
I'm not going to address my brother-in-law. I disagree. We can go back into history and see. Yes, I agree. Our people have enough power to bring ourselves out of what we're in. Hands down, nobody else responsible, whatever. But I'm going to ask you this question before I wrap it up. And don't answer, it's rhetorical. You can't answer.
Well, you're not asking me
No. If you saw a little girl, little boy, grown man, grown woman raped, and they come in and they want help, what would we suggest? Therapy. They need to heal from this. If you have been robbed, beaten, whatever, in today's time, this person needs help. They need therapy. I'm saying people of color, from all the atrocities that have gone on, we have never been offered therapy. And this ties back into our last episode, the black man in healing. Nobody's offering us healing and therapy. No. This is why we keep moving on. Because it doesn't matter what we're feeling in here and up here, those bills are still coming. We still have a community who are dependent on us. This is the major reason. We don't have time for that.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? So we have never healed from generations and generations and generations.
Speak, Ro. Speak.
We've never had healing. But you can bully, if you type something on the computer, Marcus looks fat on this podcast, and I understand that we're going to talk to the editor about that. But you can type that to me, and now we have terms for it. You're body shaming me.
Yeah.
And if I go to get therapy for it, my insurance will pay for this trauma that I just went through from you saying Marcus look fat. on the podcast. But what have we gotten as a race? We've not healed. So yes, we do have the power, but if we don't know how to heal ourselves, brother, we don't know how to come up out of it.
Well, but there's nobody else that can tell us how to heal ourselves. What do they have to tell me about the atrocities that we have faced? This is a us. This is a us thing when it comes to the healing. I know you say didn't respond, but I just had to throw that in there. Yeah, everything you said was right. But who gonna give us therapy?
What if you walk into a therapist that looks like me? We look alike. What happens then?
Then you go back to
you
fortified what I said. Our people, us, we got to lift us up
for sure. But what I'm saying to you, I was raped. I mean, not this our people. I was raped and lynched and separated from my mom and my dad, and I was in the fields and this, that, and the other. If I heal, you need to be open, because I'm going to give you the path to how I was healed, how I healed from all of these atrocities that went on. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. But then it goes back to being left on 421. Ro, I passed you. Is your phone not working? Why didn't you reach out for help? Why didn't you reach out? So that's all I'm gonna say. Yes, we are obligated to help ourselves. 110%. Not disagreeing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Let's go ahead.
No, you good. Go ahead, bro.
Y'all can go ahead and wrap it up. I'm done. That's all I gotta say.
No, man, that's good. That's good stuff, man. That's good stuff, man. That's good stuff. And I think the fact that, and I'll end it with this: we have to acknowledge what happened in order to fully move forward.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, man.
Yes, sir.
You can't. Oh, they were slaves. Move on.
It's more than that.
We have to fully acknowledge what happened in order for people to start healing and in order for people to start moving forward. I just don't think that, and again, we talk about every other major traumatic event in the history when it deals with masses of people.
Yeah, man.
But when it comes time to fully discuss the traumatic event of slavery, it's almost like, yeah, it happened, let's move on.
Yeah, man.
And passed down for generations.
It's been passed down.
We still feeling our ancestors'
Man,
pain.
we still feeling their pain, brother.
Lord have mercy, brother.
We still feeling their pain. And people, when people see this episode, I'm sure it's going to raise some eyebrows. It's going to, maybe we'll get a few unfollows or whatever it is. But that's fine, fellas. I mean, because like I said, we have to discuss these topics. Like you said, we're still feeling the down effects, the downwind of slavery, because we never healed.
True.
We never healed. We never healed. And until we heal properly, we can reverse that cycle, that mental cycle.
There we go.
Period. And that's what everybody has said up to this point. Both your brothers made great points.
I did.
Great points.
He did.
Anything else, brothers?
I'm good on that.
Again, man, I just want to give a shout out to Mr. Quentin Dalton.
Yes, Lord.
Man, I tell you, when Ro hit me with that information, we're going to nominate him as our man of the week, all the way up, man of the week. I said there's not a better deserving person, man, to see where he was, where he's come from, what he is. Hey, man, shout out. Shout out QD.
Bud.
Yeah, man.
Jack would be proud.
Hey, man. Shout out QD, man. We love you. Keep doing your thing, man. And that's going to wrap us up for episode number 3, brothers. As always, God bless you, man. It begins and ends with gratitude. And always keep that mindset straight, man, so we can keep making a difference. God bless you all. We love you.